Good morning, my future scientists. Hello, hello. Today is January 19th, 2021. Let's go ahead and get started with what we have today in science. So I would really like for you guys to have a pencil and a paper while you're watching this video. It will, wink, wink, help you out with any notes or answers to questions that you guys need to write down to help you throughout the rest of your assignment today. So we are going to look into something about why is the shadow so long, and we're also going to do a little experiment, and then I will talk to you more about what your assignment is for today. So let's go ahead and get started. So on your sheet of paper, I would like for you guys to write your first thoughts when you see this picture. I just want you to write your thoughts. I don't want you to really answer the question right now. I more so just want you to look at the picture and kind of write down a few things that you see, that you notice, just anything in the picture. It could be a good couple of things. If you can't really think of anything, that's okay. But I want you to try and see if you can notice at least 3 things. At least 3 things. So go ahead and pause the video so that you can take your time on looking for just at least 3 things in this picture that you notice. Go ahead and pause it. I'm going to go ahead and continue. So now that you guys kind of looked at what you noticed, I want you guys to think about this question. Why is the shadow so long? Why is the shadow so long? So based off of what you noticed initially when you were first looking at this picture, I want you to use that to help you with why is the shadow so long. So I want you to go ahead and pause the video and answer the question. Answer your initial thought of what the answer to the question is, okay? So go ahead and pause it and answer why you think the shadow is so long. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and keep going. So we've looked at what we initially see when we look at this picture. We notice that there's a little boy in this picture. We notice that the ground has half sun and half darkness. We notice that there's a shadow that's a little bit longer than the height of the actual little boy. We notice his arms are out, but we only really see one hand and arm in the shadow. There's a good handful of things that we can notice in the picture, but the big question that we really want to focus on is why is the shadow so long? What could possibly contribute to making the shadow so long? I want you guys to think about that. What could make that shadow so long? So besides what you just answered, I want you to think about what exactly is it? What is the main thing that is making that shadow long? What is the main thing that is affecting that shadow? So we are going to just stop there on this picture, and our little experiment today is going to answer that question for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And I know that it is not 100% dark in here, but it is as dark as we can get it. So hope for the best on this experiment. I've already tried it this morning and it went fairly good, but hopefully because it's getting a little brighter outside that my window is not going to project any more sunlight for right now. But I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera towards my desk so you can see what I have here. Where you go? Okay. All right. Oop, there we go. Oh, it looks a little crooked there. We're a little crooked. Okay, we're a little like sideways here, but this is my class plant. This is my little plant, okay? He's going to be a part of our experiment today. So what we're going to do, oh my goodness gracious, come on, is I'm going to use my phone as a flashlight. Now, my plant is my object that I'm using in my experiment today, and I'm using another variable of my phone as a flashlight. So what I want you guys to focus on is I want you to focus on the way that I'm moving my phone around my plant. Okay, I want you to notice what is happening as I move my phone around the plant. Okay, now I'm hoping that this flashlight isn't too bright now that it's a little bit sunnier in my room, thanks to that window over there. And hopefully it'll be just fine. All right, so first, let's see if we can scoot them a little bit this way. So first I'm going to start over here, which this is more to my plant's left. It's more so in front of me, but this is towards my plant's left side. Notice where my phone is at, where the variable of the flashlight is at, okay? And notice how the light is hitting the object, okay? And notice the shadow. Notice what's going on with the shadow, okay? So now I want you guys to watch as I move the flashlight up and watch how it affects the object, okay? So go ahead and let's see. So I've moved up just a little bit, and as you can see, my shadow is getting shorter because you can see the points of my plant here. Okay, when I had it right about here, you can't see the points of my plant. You can only see the rounded part of the pot still. Okay, so even when I'm here, you still can't see it. It's still very long. So as I go up with the flashlight, it creates a shorter shadow. And as I go down, creates a longer shadow. Let's see if I can move this just a little. There we go. There we go. We're still a little crooked. Okay. Well, I don't know if that made it any better or any worse. There we go. Okay. All right. Got it. I think that's a little bit better. Here, we'll scoot a little closer. Okay. So I've gone up, and it's made my shadow shorter. There we go. It's made my shadow shorter. Now I'm going to go just about to the top and notice how the shadow is moving. Notice how the shadow is moving. So I'm going to start back here to where my shorter shadow was. So we had our long shadow and our short shadow. And then now we're at the very top where the flashlight is straight down onto the plant, and the shadow is just very minimal, very minimal. You can barely see the points. Well, only of course the ones that are reaching off to the pot, but the ones that are inside you can't really notice as well. But when I have it here, you notice more of the plant points. I'm just going to call them points, even though they're actually stems, but okay. So let's see, let's keep going. And now let's move to the other side. So notice where the shadow's going. It's not over here anymore to the right. It's now coming towards the left because now my flashlight is going towards the right. So notice where, do you see how on my shirt the shadow of the plant is projecting onto my shirt from where, you see that? Oh my goodness. So what was happening on this side onto the right is now happening over here to the left. Now let's see how it goes if I move this way. And what about this way? Do you see how the shadow just keeps projecting depending on where the flashlight is? Pretty cool, huh? What I want you to think about and write down on your piece of paper is, what does my plant and the flashlight represent? What do you think it represents? If I'm trying to create a shadow with my flashlight, with the light onto an object, what do you think? What do you think the flashlight is going to represent? Let's think of that first. What do you think the flashlight is going to represent? So think back to the picture. Think back to the shadow picture of the little boy. What do you think that light was? Let's use our critical thinking and think about, what could that light have been? Well, in that picture, he's outside. So the light could only be one thing. The light is the sun. Now my flashlight is representing the sun. Now I really want you to think about, what could my plant here be representing? What could my plant be representing? Now it could be any object in the sun's light, yes, just like the little boy. It could be also kind of like how the little boy is. But what I really want you guys to think about, I want you to think a little bit more. I want you to think about more that's not on this earth. Oh, wink, wink. So do a little thinking. So not only is the flashlight affecting the shadow of the plant, but it's also affecting the plant itself. So watch where the light is hitting on the actual plant. So we were looking at the shadow, but now we look at the actual plant and where the light is hitting it. So notice how here it's hitting it straight on. There is all light on this left side, but on this right side, it's all darkness. There's no light hitting it, which is why we have a shadow here, because there's no light on this side. But as I move towards the back, all the light is now on the back side, and there is no light on the front side. It's all dark over here. Okay. So now if I move to this right side, there is only light on the right side, and there is all darkness on this side. But what about if I move it up here? All my light is hitting straight on top of the plant, but there's no light on the bottom here. It's all dark. And then to the front, there is only light here, and there is no light back here. So my flashlight represents the sun. And my plant, it represents the earth. And what we're going to focus on today, you guys, and well, mostly this week, we're going to focus on the Earth's rotation and how the sun affects the Earth's rotation and how it contributes to night and day and seasons and the shadows that come off of it. That's what we're going to focus on. And then we're also going to have a little bit of the moon phases in there as well. I love the moon phases. So, with that being said, you guys, your assignment today is just going to be recalling what we did in our experiment here and just reinforcing so that I know that you understand what we did in this experiment. And if not, I will be happy to sit and explain it to you a little bit better and give you a little more one-on-one time to understand and to show you a little bit more of the way that the light hits an object and the shadow that it creates. And we're going to keep learning that throughout this week. But I wanted to show you guys this fun little experiment to get into our science this week. So if you guys need anything or you have any questions about it, you know where to find me. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.